कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोधनंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोधनंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना बनचारी यमुना बनचारी यमुना तीरा बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा निताय गौर हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल। गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। ओमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखावितां च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। जस्ट एक मिनट। हरे कृष्णा। So welcome everyone once again. So we were doing sloka number 9, mantra 9. So before we start, we'll do our recitation. श्री ईशोपनिषद मंगलाचरण। ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णम् उदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगतां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथा मा कृतः कस्य स्विद्धनं कुर्वन्नेवेह कर्माणि जिजीविषे शतं समाः एवं त्वयि नान्यथेतुस्ति न कर्म लिप्यते नरे। असूर्यनाम ते लोका अन्धेन तमसावृताः तांस्ते प्रेत्याभिगच्छन्ति ये के चात्महनो जनाः अनेजदेकं मनसो जवीयो नैन देव आप्नुवं पूर्वमर्ष तद्धावतो अन्यनत्येति तिष्ठत् तस्मिन्नपो मातरिश्वा दधाति तद्देजति तन्नेजति तद्दूरे तदवन्तिके तदन्तरस्य सर्वस्य तदु सर्वास्यस्य बाह्यतः यस्तु सर्वाणि भूतान्य आत्मन्येवानुपश्यति सर्वभूतेषु चात्मानं ततो नाभिजुगुप्सते। यस्मिन् सर्वाणि भूतान्य एवाद्भूतविजानतः तत्र को मोहकः शोक एकत्वम् अनुपश्यतः। सपर्यगा शुक्रम अकाय वर्णम अस्नावीरम शुद्धम अपापविद्धम कबीर्मनीषी परिभू स्वयंभू याथा तत्यतो अर्थान वेदधा शाश्वतीभ्य समाभ्ययः। अंधम तमः प्रविशन्ति ये विद्यामुपासते ततो भूय इव ते तमो य उ विद्ययामृताः अन्यदेवाहुर्विद्यया अन्यदाहुरविद्यया इति शुश्रुमधीराणां येनस्तद्विचचक्षिरे विद्यां च यस्तद्वेदो भयं सः अविद्यया मृत्युं धृत्वा विद्ययामृतमश्नुते अन्धं तमः प्रविशन्ति ये सम्भूतिमुपासते ततो भूय इव ते तमो यौ सम्भूत्यामृताः अन्यदैवाहु संभवादन्यदाहुरसंभवात् तितिशुश्रुमधीराणां येनस्तद्विचचक्षिरे सम्भूतिं च विनाशं च यस्तद्वेदो भयं सः विनाशेन मृत्युं त्यक्त्वा सम्भूत्यामृतमश्नुते हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यस्यापि हितं मुखं तत्त्वं पूषन्नमपावृणु सत्यधर्माय दृष्टये पूषणेकर्षेयं सूर्यप्राजापत्य भूयः रश्मिन् समूहा तेजो यत्ते रूपं कल्याणतमं तत्ते पश्यामि यो सावसो पुरुषः सोऽहमस्मि वायुरनीलम् अमृतम् अथेदं भस्मान्तं शरीरम् ॐ क्रतो स्मर कृतं स्मर क्रतो स्मर कृतं स्मर अग्नेनय सुपताराय अस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् योध्यस्मा जुहुराणमेनो भूयिष्ठां ते नम उक्तिं विधेमा ॐ तत्सत् okay. So as we know, we have done the first section, laws of God, living in harmony with God, basically. Second, Mahabhagavat vision, spiritual vision. We are undergoing right now mantra 8, going through it. Then the next section we are going to begin today is this also, comparison of knowledge, vidya and avidya. So, okay, let us first complete that part. सपर्यगा शुक्रमकाय वर्णम अश्नावीरम शुद्धम पाप विद्धम कबीरमनीषी परिभू स्वयंभूर यथात्यतो अर्थान वेदधा शाश्वतीभ्य समाभयः. So this is describing the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or in terms of Ishopanishad, absolute truth. What are his qualities? So we saw Shukram, omnipotent. Akayam. Akayam means he has no material body, unembodied. Avaranam. Avaranam means nobody can question him for his activities. Nobody can reproach him. Asnaviram. He has no veins. His body does not have any veins, any blood vessels, no, nothing. So these things we have seen. And Suddham, Apapa Vidham, these things have to be discussed. Today we'll discuss. And so Suddha means antiseptic. Antiseptic we use when before any disease happens to us. Yes. So antiseptic we use so that the germs or the bacteria should not touch our body so that it enters inside our bodily system. So therefore we use antiseptic. So it kills the germ before it enters inside our body. Yes. And apapa vidham, which is Prabhupada is saying prophylactic, which means even if the germs or the bacteria go inside our body and they create some disease. But because it's the feature of the Lord that apapa vidham, even though the pap comes also, it will be evaporated fully. Like when a hot tawa is there, when you just put some drops of water on it, immediately it will evaporate, immediately. Yes. Or sunlight. Sunlight, when it is a very strong summer season, so it can evaporate water bodies very fast. Yes. So Lord is apapa vidham. Any papa, even if it comes near the Lord, it immediately becomes vanquished, finished. Kavir means learned. He's omniscient. He knows everything. Manishi, philosopher. Srila Prabhupada does not mention much about it. And Paribhu means the greatest of all. So Paribhu, you know that Anyor Anyan, Mahato Mayan. So he's the greatest of all, smaller than the smallest and greater than the greatest. So he's like that. Swayambhu, self-sufficient. So he can produce Brahma. He can run everything by himself. No need of even energy also. He can do everything by himself. But he is giving some service to his energies. Okay, you do something. Otherwise, Lord can do everything by himself. He's self-sufficient. He can interchange his senses. No need to work with the same senses. No, he can interchange. Yatha tatyata, just in pursuance of. So, Arthan, this thing we did not discuss last time also. How the Lord fulfills the material, the desire of living entity in this material world. So that is called Yatha tatyata Arthan. So according to our desires, he fulfilled them. Again, based upon our how much we have karma, accordingly means destiny. If the destiny favors, then the desire will be fulfilled. If destiny does not favor, then it will not be. So he Vedadhat awards. Okay. So we'll go to the last paragraph. Okay. Yes, Yamuna Vilaspu, can you read?
Yes, Project. Lord is supremely pure, Shuddham, antiseptic, and Apapa Viddham, prophylactic. To confirm that the Lord is always pure and uncontaminated, Sri Ishopanishad describes him as Shuddham, antiseptic, and Apapa Viddham, prophylactic. He is antiseptic in the sense that even an impure thing can become purified just by touching him. The word prophylactic refers to the power of his association. As mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita 9.30 to 31, in the beginning a devotee may appear to be sudurachar, not well behaved, but he should be accepted as pure because he is on the right path. This is due to the prophylactic nature of the Lord's association. The Lord is also apapa viddham because sin cannot touch him. Even if he acts in a way that appears to be sinful, such actions are all good, for there is no question of his being affected by sin, because in all circumstances he is Suddham, most purified. He is often compared to the sun. The sun extracts moisture from many untouchable places on the earth, yet it remains pure. In fact, it purifies obnoxious things by virtue of its sterilizing powers. If the sun, which is a material object, is so powerful, then we can hardly begin to imagine the purifying strength of the all-powerful Lord.
Okay. Yes. So, when the devotees, when they approach Lord with some material desires, that is even also favored in our literatures, Bhakti literatures, Srimad Bhagavatam and others, Bhagavad Gita also, that if somebody has material desire, he should approach Supreme Lord, not demigod. Yes, when you will be reading Bhagavad Gita, it will be these verses will come. So then how Lord purifies these people? So Lord purifies from his qualities like Suddham and Apapa Viddham. Prabhupada keeps on giving the same example, what is given here. The sun extracts moisture from many untouchable on earth, yet it remains pure. So Lord is more million, trillions, unimaginable times, you can say, powerful than the sun. So if sun can do this much activity, why not the Lord? So Lord can purify anyone. Like some gopis, they may have lusty desire when they want to serve the Lord. Okay. Now they got purified because of it. Like Kubja. She had a kama praya, means she had a lusty desire when she wanted to serve Krishna. So she had lusty desire to enjoy with Krishna. And she got purified by touch of Krishna. This happened. In the similar way, many demons, they had a lot of sinful desires, and they had so many anarthas also. They came to Vrindavan to kill Krishna. But by touch of Krishna, they all got purified. All got purified. What to speak a touch of Krishna? Just by seeing Krishna, one gets purified. So we know in the war of Kurukshetra, battle of Kurukshetra, all the soldiers from both the side, Kauravas, Pandavas, they all died. Yes, one Akshani Sena was remaining at the end of Pandavas, but all almost died. So all when they were dying, they were seeing the beautiful face of Lord Sri Krishna before their death, and so they got liberated. It is mentioned in the Bhagavatam, all of them went to the spiritual sky, either demon or devotee. Everybody went because they died in presence of Lord Sri Krishna. The presence of Lord Sri Krishna is so much important. Many times only fools, they say that Lord becomes conditioned by his destiny. Like some people may say that, like Lord Ram, because he killed Bali, who was for hiding, he killed Bali. Okay. So in the similar way, Krishna, when he took birth as Krishna, he was killed by another hunter who was hiding in the bush, and he shot the arrow. So where is the reference? Where do we get the reference of such things? These things are not there. Lord does not carry any karma. Namam karmani limpanti. Name karma phala spriha. So Lord does not get contaminated by any kind of sins or even pious activity. He does not have any material desire also. It looks that Lord is fulfilling his desires by marrying so many queens, by killing some demons, by playing with his gopas, gopis, and doing so many pastimes. But these are all his spiritual pastimes. They are not to be considered as material. So this is very, very important. Sins cannot touch him. Okay. Some more things we can discuss about it. So Srila Prabhupada mentions about the Suduracharo. So I was hearing a lecture, 9.3031. Bhajate mam ananyabhak, sadhu reva samantabhya, apicheta suduracharo, bhajate mam ananyabhak. So many times there is a conflict in the mind of devotees also. Like some other devotees there, his habits are very bad, but he has taken to devotional service. What to be done? Srila Prabhupada says, actually devotional service is sufficient. Nothing more required. He says devotional service is sufficient. Then what about his habits? Suduracharo means very abominable habits. What to done with them? So Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna himself says, call him sadhu, because he is lamenting for his circumstantial fall down. He is lamenting. When devotee laments, okay, my dear Lord, I did not want to commit that act, but my svabhava, my previous sanskara, impression, they forced me, impelled me to do that activity. So please forgive me. So when devotee goes to the Lord's lotus feet and begs, or he goes to the spiritual master, he begs forgiveness. So just see the whole, everything we should see in context. What I am saying one thing, he has done some mistake. Other thing I am saying, he is lamenting, he is begging forgiveness. This everything should continue. It's not that he's only doing many sins and then he's bindas. No, it's not like that. So then he will be sincere. He will be called sincere devotee. So he is not taking it for granted. Okay, I become devotee, I can do anything. No, he has to be aware that devotional service means connecting with the Lord, and Lord is the purest form. So I have to be pure first. So at least first I have to come to mode of goodness, then I will cross the mode of goodness also. So mode of goodness means no sin. We should not commit very gross sins. Yeah, in this world, even mode of goodness is polluted by passion and ignorance. When some mode of goodness is characterized by sukham jnanam. Sukham means a person can become complacent or lazy. So then mode of goodness become contaminated with laziness, or that is mode of ignorance. When mode of goodness become contaminated with the passion, one gets knowledge like sukha, jnanam. Jnana means he is very knowledgeable. Then he can become proud, and pride is in mode of passion. So in this way, goodness become contaminated by mode of passion or mode of ignorance. So in this world, actually, nothing is pure. We have to keep on struggling to keep ourselves at whatever platform we are, or we have to go ahead. So then we have to surely struggle for that also. So this is very, very important. So Prabhupada says it's sufficient because Krishna says that my devotee Chipram Bhavati Dharmatma Saswat Shanti Nigashati. So he says very soon he will become Dharmatma. Again, he will be re-established in his religious activities or devotional activities. Do not worry, call him sadhu because he is sincerely repenting, lamenting, and is continuing with devotional service. So this is what Prabhupada is saying. When somebody is sinful again and is doing bhakti, it means it is the effect of Lord only to encourage him to do bhakti. Otherwise, you cannot think in outside world somebody is impious and also doing piety. Both things cannot happen. Like simultaneously cannot happen. Yes. So devotees, then why the Lord did he does not take away all the sins immediately? That is another thing. Why Lord does so? Because Lord is waiting for devotion to arise in the heart of devotee, and everything will be taken care by this devotion. Therefore, it is Prabhupada said devotional service is sufficient. Need not worry. When it will arise, the devotee will become mad after Lord. He will give up everything. Like when sun comes, no fog, no mist. Everything drives away. Yes, nothing remains. Everywhere light. So when devotion service, when the devotion in the heart of the devotee arises, when he goes to nishtha, ruchi, asakti level, so then these all things, they don't matter to him because he is already mad after the Lord. So Lord does not want to do something superficial in the life of devotee. He's just waiting. Just wait, devotion. When the devotion arises in the heart, everything will be nice. Do not worry. That is why Lord helps the devotee. He encourages. Otherwise, Lord can clear out anyone's sin immediately, but he will not do. Like sometimes Srila Prabhupada used to say, I can give you bhakti right now, but I will not do. I will not make you advance very quickly, because even struggle in devotional service is also very nice, because we'll understand the value of bhakti. If anything when you get cheaply, then we may not value. So pure devotees and the Lord, they sometimes bestow very quick mercy to some living entities just to show the effect of bhakti. Like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he delivered one small dog. He became Vaikunthavasi. Just he ate the pulp of coconut which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had eaten, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, dance now, chant now, and started chanting Hare Krishna, and then left the body. So for some living entities, Lord may try to show the kripas, and that is called kripa siddhi, but not for all. For all of us, the journal process is sadhana bhakti, gradual process. It is like that. So Lord is all pure. Okay. Yes. So we will proceed to the next chapter now. I have not explained, as I said, about yathat, yatato, arthan, that one, that how Lord fulfills one desire. So there is a karmavad and devavad, that we may also learn in the Bhagavad Gita. So that is, we can, we have less of time here right now. So later you can learn in that session. Mantra 9. Andham tamaha pravishanti ye vidyamupasate tato bhuya ivate tamo yau vidyayam rataha. So these three sections, these three sloka in this section are little confusing. So we have to know the flow. So let us go to the flow and understand. This is the flow. These three sloka or mantra, they talk about vidya and avidya. in all these three mantras, comparison is there. Vidya, what Vidya does, what avidya, what Vidya, what avidya, what Vidya, what avidya. So avidya leads to darkness and misguided Vidya, which is also avidya only, but it is okay said like Vidya. Avidya leads to darkness and misguided Vidya leads to greater darkness. This is a mantra 9. Okay. Avidya leads to darkness and misguided Vidya leads to greater darkness. Then, what is the result of cultivating avidya and Vidya? What is the result? And balancing avidya and Vidya grants immortality. Okay. So we also need avidya. See, here it is said avidya leads to darkness, and Vidya, in pursuance of avidya, it will lead to greater darkness. Okay, so then one person may become confused. Okay, you have so told that Vidya, if it is following avidya, so it is greater darkness, and avidya is already darkness. Okay, now you are saying the different result. Okay, that is understandable. Now, last you are saying you have to balance avidya and Vidya. So this is a climax here. So the last part, what is here mentioned here, avidya and Vidya. Avidya basically refers to when you know the knowledge of the dead matter of this world. That is called avidya, knowledge of the dead matter. So Vedas, they have three kinds of knowledge: para, apara, and apara. Okay, and avidya, knowledge of dead matter. So these three things should be there. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada will be mentioning that avidya, like knowledge of about our body, how we have to do our jobs, how we have to, how much I need, anything. So then that balancing thing should be there. So avidya is required. Like right now we are using avidya, like we are using a mobile, laptop. This is avidya. This is simply creation of avidya only. But how much to use? That is why it is mentioned balancing. So that we'll learn in the last sloka or mantra. Okay. So I will also show other comparison. So mantra 9, it is telling foolishly running for sense gratification is avidya. Like somebody is foolish, no knowledge, just they are following any blind leader and just very happy. Like the whole world, like followers, they don't think much, they just follow the leader. If leader is blind, then they have nothing to do. They just understand ki mere ko khana pani mil raha hai, I am happy, food, clothing, shelter, and let leader lead us anywhere. And we'll see in the purpose of Srila Prabhupada it is going to come. So avidya means foolishly running for sense gratification. Now Vidya, in the 9th mantra, materialistic knowledge for sense gratification. So these people, they don't have a lot of materialistic knowledge. They are very simple people, but they're just following the leader, ignorant people. And here, these are, you can say, educated atheist people, educated. Or Prabhupada will also tell us that Vedavad Rata, those who are followers of Vedic literature, they will also come in this category. And Mayavadis, they will also come into this category of Vidya, misguided Vidya. This is here misguided Vidya. Using Vidya for sense gratification, that is called misguided Vidya. Okay. Then here comes avidya in 10th sloka mantra, materialistic knowledge for sense gratification. Same thing. What is mentioned here? Same thing here. Okay. And then knowledge about Krishna consciousness. Or more specifically, knowledge for cultivating good culture, good character. Knowledge which ultimately turns into good character or culture. That is the second 10th mantra, talks about the Vidya. Now the third mantra in this section, knowledge for one's livelihood, is avidya. knowledge for one's livelihood, and then knowledge about immortality, going beyond this mortal world, going to the kingdom of Godhead. That is a knowledge. So more specific, I just told here. Here it is written knowledge about Krishna consciousness, knowledge about cultivating good culture, good character. Okay, let us go ahead now. Those who engage in the culture of nascent activities shall enter into the darkest region of ignorance. Worse still are those who engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge. So, first thing we should understand what Prabhupada mentions here. So, there are two words. This is avidya, because this is silent, so therefore we read vidyam. So, with avidyam upasate. This is one word, avidyam upasate, the worshippers of avidya. The worshippers of avidya, avidyam upasate. Now the second comes vidyayam rataha, those who are attached to the vidya, so-called vidya. So-called vidya. So it means like so-called vidya, okay? So these two things we will be focusing. So andham tamaha pravishanti, they will be proceeding towards tamaha, andham. Who? Those who are avidyam upasate. Those who are worshippers of avidya, followers of avidya, they will go there. Andham, darkness, in the dark region they will go, okay? And those who are even also cultivator of the vidya, so-called vidya, they will also proceed towards greater darkness. This is the whole meaning here. Okay, they will proceed in the towards the greater darkness. Usse bhi zyada. How it is? Yes, we'll start. We'll read now. Yes. Shreyas Vaichal Prabhu. Yes. Can you read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Education based on material advancement without spiritual aspect has made people unhappy than ever before. This mantra offers a comparative study of Vidya and Avidya. Avidya or ignorance is undoubtedly dangerous, but Vidya or knowledge is even more dangerous when mistaken or misguided. This mantra of Sri Ishopanishad is more applicable today than at any time in the past. Modern civilization has advanced considerably in the field of mass education, but the result is that people are more unhappy than ever before because of the stress placed on material advancement to the exclusion of the most important part of life, the spiritual aspect.
Okay. So the Vedas has three divisions: Paravidya, Aparavidya, and Vidya. Avidya. Avidya means study of dead matter, as I said. Aparavidya means the non-transcendental portion of the Vedic literature. Non-transcendental portion, which will help us to know about this body, about this world, how to live in this material world. So that is Aparavidya. Paravidya means about spiritual world, spiritual subject matter. That is Paravidya. So Prabhupada in this paragraph, he mentions that what is a turn in today's civilization. There's a turning, you can say turning has happened. The civilization earlier was in mode of goodness, now it has come to the mode of passion and ignorance. So how it changes actually? The people, their perception changes fully. So now, like in Srirangam, somebody, one Brahmana was there. So then he said, my younger son, he has gone to America. He had done nice education, he has gone to America. And my elder son, he's Buddhu. He's unwise. He's simply doing some Brahmanical work, doing some puja and some home, some yagya. So then, what is his perception? Perception is educated man should go to America, he should study more, and he should bring a lot of wealth and do a lot of material enjoyment. This is a conception in today's time, actually. Yes. And then who could not do anything, then he should be doing some home, some yagya, some puja, like that. So their understanding about education is basically who can earn a lot of money or skills, not about the character or culture, nothing like that. So Prabhupada mentions here, avidya or ignorance is undoubtedly dangerous, but vidya or the knowledge is even more dangerous when mistaken or misguided. Like somebody comes to know what is the formula for bomb, and then he gives the formula to some person. So then that will create a very great disaster, like Einstein. From him, this Germany people, they took the formula and they created the bomb, and then they put it on the Japan. We know the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, where the bomb was dropped. So this formula E is equal to mc square, relativity formula, energy and mass comparison. So this formula was used to make bombs also. So Einstein was very much lamenting that, my formula was used for killing so many people. It can happen. Now, today Chat GPT has come. I'm just hearing. I do not know what about it, but it's some artificial intelligence. But it is also creating great disaster. People are very much concerned about losing jobs and losing their skills, talents, because it is doing everything. No need to. It is doing everything, and tomorrow it may advance more. So what is this? Guided vidya, which they are saying, but we are saying misguided vidya. This is a misguided vidya. So vidya means they are using the knowledge for wrong purpose. The purpose is for sense gratification. Purpose is to just enjoy senses. No purpose is to liberate the soul from this material world. No, there is no such purpose. So we can clearly see also that means earlier we never thought about stress, depression, and in our childhood times, stress, depression, nothing was there. Now it is very much prominent. I heard that the greatest disease in today's time is mental illness. Mental illness. Mind is very much disturbed. So why it is there? Because of our whole perspective of living or getting education. It's just to satisfy the senses and the mind. And the more we are trying to satisfy, the more we are becoming miserable actually. Because it is disconnecting God. Like it is said that we are comfortably miserable. Why comfortably miserable? Because we have a lot of stress and tension. We may be sitting in the AC, but a lot of stress and tension. And it is there. It is there. Even for normal people, it is there. Like people don't believe in results tomorrow. They believe in result today and right now. Result should come right now. They don't believe in tomorrow. Like people have become so much passionate nowadays. They want to do many things today only. And that may not be important also. They want to do everything today only. And what is important, they will postpone it. So I'm just talking about, not talking about the spiritual aspect also, but I'm just talking about even material aspect. People are so much greedy that when they become obsessed by something, they want to do that thing today only. I want. Like children have want for toys, we have want for some attractions, some attachments, which we cannot give it up. And then it takes away our time. And then we forget to prioritize our life, even our material life. So here Srila Prabhupada mentions that a lot of stress is placed on the material advancement, and there is no stress on the spiritual aspect. So some people may think that we are against this material advancement. So we are not against it. We are against the exclusion of spiritual aspect. Don't exclude spiritual aspect, bring it. You do material advancement, but when you have a spiritual aspect, so then what will happen, that this material aspect, you will not become attached to it. You will not become attached. So when you will not become attached, you will understand that, okay, I am using it, it is temporary, I am using it for my practical purpose, and then it will not be needed tomorrow. Because I am a spirit soul, I have different goal of life, I have different world to live. So then we'll give it up. and there will be certain limitations how much to advance also. It's not that the door of technology is open for anyone and everyone. कुछ भी कोई भी करता है, और कुछ भी anything they bring and they launch it. The question is, who is the controller in this world for anything? Like any new technology comes, who is deciding actually? Who is deciding that this technology or this thing should enter into our country or into the corporate sector or in the schools? Who is deciding? Nobody deciding. These all business people or these say vested interest people, they create the technology and then they spread it and nobody stops it, and then they get the money, lot of money. So basically, what is the whole thing? Nobody is worried about anyone's character, culture, or future. Everybody is worried about their pocket. If I'm getting my money, then let this technology destroy as many people. No, need not to worry. This is so pathetic in India also. Anything comes and it gets spread. Nobody is there to stop. And we say we are independent country. We are an independent country means for what? To get destroyed. So we are independent. So why there is a lack of a spiritual aspect? So why there is a lack of spiritual aspect? Srila Prabhupada is going to mention in future here. But again, the people have this understanding that if I do good, I will get good. So why I need God in between? If I am doing good, I will get the good result. So why I need God? So this is the Karma Mimamsa philosophy. Why big atheists or big scientists, they don't want to include spiritual aspect. Karma Mimamsa. Theory is, I am doing good or I am putting my intelligence endeavor, I can get good. So why I need God? So this is a problem. And that's why they further extrapolate their wrong conception, saying that Ram also suffers. His wife got stolen because he also had to suffer his destiny. So they are very much aware. Okay, those were pious people. Okay, we will not do anything bad. We'll do the right thing, but we'll get the right result. So they don't want to include God or spiritual aspect in the life. But we just now saw in some in last mantra, I think last to last mantra we saw, even though somebody gets the qualification of becoming a judge, he cannot become judge unless sanctioned by the authority, superior authority. So none of us can get our karma result also, even if we are qualified for it, unless Supreme Lord sanction it. Because he is the Om Purnamada Purnamada, Isha Vasham Idam Sarvam. Everything he is owning. Nothing is owned by anyone else. He is owning everything. So even our results is owned by Lord only. We may not be able to always see this thing happening, but this is the truth given by the Vedas, that even if you do good and you may get good and you may not see the hand of Krishna who is giving you that good result, but it is there. Therefore, we are again learning that behind this creation, there is a proper design, proper creator, and proper purpose. Again, we are learning. Same thing. Because we may not be able to see the hand all the time. Therefore, Lord Sri Krishna says, these kind of people, avipaschita Brahman, avipaschit, like these who are simply Vedavadarata followers or Karma Mimamsa followers. So these kind of thoughts are there in the mind of these people. That's why even those who are doing pious activity, they don't want God factually. They want to make a religion just to support their sense gratification. Or those who are atheist people, they are ignorant totally. They don't want only. They don't know also much about it. Okay, we'll go ahead. Yes, Dipali Mataji, can you read?
Yes, Prabhuji. As far as Vidya is concerned, the first mantra has explained very clearly that the Supreme Lord is the proprietor of everything, and that forgetfulness of this fact is ignorance. The more a man forgets this fact of life, the more he is in darkness. In view of this, a godless civilization directed toward the so-called advancement of education is called dangerous than a civilization in which the masses of people are less educated.
Okay. You can read ahead us.
Of the different classes of men, karmis, jnanis, and yogis. The karmis are those who are engaged in the activities of sense gratification. In the modern civilization, 99.9% of people are engaged in the activities of sense gratification under the flags of industrialism, economic development, altruism, political activism, and so on. All these activities are more or less based on satisfaction of one's senses, to the exclusion of the kind of God consciousness described in this first mantra, in the first mantra. In the language of the Bhagavad Gita 7.15, people who are engaged in gross sense gratification are mudas, asses. The ass is a symbol of stupidity. Those who simply engage in the profitless pursuit of sense gratification are worshipping avidya, according to Sri Ishopanishad. And those who play a role of helping this sort of civilization in the name of educational advancement are actually doing more harm than those who are on the platform of gross sense gratification. The advancement of learning by godless people is as dangerous as the valuable jewel on the hood of a cobra. A cobra decorated with a valuable jewel is more dangerous than one not decorated with the Hari Bhakti. Valuable jewel is more dangerous than one not decorated. In the Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya 3.11.12, the advancement of education by a godless people is compared to decorations on the dead body. In India, as in many other countries, some people follow the custom of leading a procession with a decorated dead body for the pleasure of the lamenting relatives. In the same way, modern civilization is a patchwork of activities meant to cover the perpetual miseries of material existence. All such activities are aimed toward the sense gratification. But above the senses in the mind and above the mind is the intelligence. And above the intelligence is the soul. Thus, the aim of real education should be self-realization, realization of spiritual values of the soul. Any education which does not lead to such realization must be considered avidya or nescience. And to culture such nescience means to go down to the darkest region of ignorance.
Okay. So, those who engage in culture of nascent activities shall enter into the darkest region of ignorance. Shri Prabhupada, okay, this here is writing 99.9%. He has not excluded many. People are engaged in activity of sense gratification under the flags of these things: industrialism, economic development, altruism, political activism. Okay. So, the so-called advancement of education is more dangerous than less education. So now here it is confirmed. Till now we were thinking that, okay, some Prabhu is saying or some people are saying. Now it is confirmed. Acharya has said now. So in India, just to increase the literary rate is not, it should not be so much, we should be fascinated by this idea. Okay, let people be educated. In the next mantra, it is going to say, what do we mean by education? More explicitly, it will tell. Education matlab kya hota hai? Here it is, at least Prabhupada is saying that more education is creating more disaster. Because the base of education is sense gratification, or the base of education is to simply increase the material facility, material comforts, and go for sense gratification. So therefore, whatever you are going to increase on this base, whatever the building of material things, it is all basically for destroying the whole civilization. This is what Prabhupada is mentioning here. Godless civilization directed toward the so-called advancement of education is more dangerous. Okay. So we in our college preaching in the youth, so to the youths we tell these two things about, one thing about Darwin's theory, that we have never come from monkey, we have come from humans. So human has come from human. We have come from God ultimately, all living species. But humans have also come from Manu. Manu means he is the foremost human. So from him, all the Manushya have come. But the Darwin, he speculated and told that humans have come from monkey. Now, some of us may think that it is only theoretical thing. No, it's not a theoretical. It's not a theoretical, because today we disregard Manu Samhita. Today we disregard all our educated and great saintly people, because we think they don't belong to us in anyway. Everything has happened by chance, and we have come from monkey. So this kind of philosophy also entered the life of people. So how the universe has come about, it has come about by chance. Nobody's creator. Big Bang theory. So this is why Prabhupada also says that modern university and schools are slaughterhouses. Slaughterhouse. They are killing the spiritual propensity of living entity. In the earlier times, Mahabharata, Ramayana used to be taught in the villages. So people used to finish up their work and go and listen to Mahabharata and Ramayana. So see, these things impact a lot. When we were children, we used to go to temple. So till date we remember. आज भी हमें याद आता है कि we used to go to that temple and very serene atmosphere. We used to eat prasadam there. We used to ring the bell. We used to go and hear some katha. So this kind of sanskara has to be there. Now, where is this sanskara? This sanskara are not there. In devotees, it is there. But when we go to the colleges and other universities or any educational institute, where is all these things are there? Because they have been excluded by taking they say that it's a mythology, so we don't teach such things. They are teaching all speculation, but they will not teach the mythology. That is also, their speculation is also mythology in one sense. So three things are there. If somebody is in ignorance, it is bad. But if somebody is in ignorance and he claims that I am in knowledge, it is worse. But if somebody is in ignorance, he claims also, and he snatch away also those people who are going on the path of knowledge. You come, that your path is wrong, my path is right. So that he is the worst. Bad means somebody is ignorance. Worse means somebody is ignorance and he still claims that I'm in knowledge. And worst means not only claims, but he snatch all the people. He mispreaches all the people who are on the right path to come to his side. That is worst thing. So this is what talked here. So we know the right wings or left wing, like this happens in the religion also. So left wing people are those who are quite liberal. These people want a lot of freedom, rights. These kind of people are called left wing people. Right wing people, they are more into the zone of creating order, creating discipline, like fanatic people. So we find right wing people like in religion also. Some Hindus may be right wing, like very staunch follower, we know, like Smartha Brahmanas, very staunch. Okay, everything has to be done like this only. And the goal of Vedas should be this only. Smartha Brahmana, we know, means if they see somebody breaking some principles, they do not know higher principle, so then they chastise or then they blaspheme or criticize. So this is a right wing. When you go to the other religion like Muslims, they will break the temple deities. They break the temple deities. Or Christians, they are mispreaching, telling there is Jesus is the only way. If you take to any other religion, you will go to hell. So actually, and it's not that if you ask them why have you taken to your religion, so then they also have a lot of material motives, like we will go to the heaven or paradise. Like in Muslim, it is said that if you undergo jihad, so you will get many virgins, the young girls in heaven. Do you want? And these Muslims are very happy. Yes, we'll get. And so we'll go for jihad. We'll take the bomb in our body and we'll blast ourselves. Now just see, what is the motive also? Just see. Like if they're given in their religious book, it is said, you will go and live with the people with whom you are living here for eternity with your family. So you can go for jihad. So he has to just think, he has to just apply this brain. I am killing others and I want to live with my own people. What is the problem with others? First, he should ask this question. Before reading his Quran, he should ask these questions. This question never enter into their brains because of this right wing. What is this? This is more knowledge which is leading towards greater ignorance. This is this thing actually. Knowledge which is leading person towards greater ignorance. They have become very fanatical. We have taken knowledge from Quran. We have taken knowledge from Bible. We have taken knowledge from Vedas. Who can defeat us now? This is more ignorance. So, and like Srila Prabhupada, he have mentioned, Mandanam Loka Ranjanam, like people carrying the dead body in palanquin. Prabhupada mentions here. So, Mandanam Loka Ranjanam. Okay, it happens in India and other places also. So, what is the problem in this? Mandalam Loka, yeah, the dead body, according to the rituals, it has to be decorated properly and then taken, even though it is burned, because it is the way we respect that person. Yes, we respect that person, and the all Mahaprasad, garland, or Ganga Jal, Tulsi, everything decorates his body, and then he is burnt into fire. So then, what is the problem? Problem is these people are very happy in celebration. चलो अब तो मजा आ गया. मतलब कई लोग जो बाहर से भी आते हैं उनको थोड़ा उनको लगता है चलो खाने पीने को मिलेगा, कुछ तो दान मिलेगा, चैरिटी मिलेगा, थोड़ा चलो पीछे चल के आते हैं, let us go, and we will see some dead body burning, the people will cry, we will also be there together. So it's not, and people are very busy in their own life also, they take out some time and they go. So sometimes it is called Falgu Vairagi or Samsan Vairagi. People get Vairagi, they cry also tears. My husband died, my relative died, or my son died. So my daughter died. So then they become, they feel remorse for this. But the whole thing is to celebrate the bodily function is the here thing. Bodily function, इवन द पर्सन मर भी गया ना तभी भी उसको लेके जाते हैं, और किसी के दिमाग में घुसता नहीं है राम नाम सत्य मींस nobody takes to chanting the holy name after burning the body of their relatives. They just go with a nice din dhanaka. They go, they burn the body, they come back and they enjoy a nice feast. Finish. So it was basically mandanam, loka ranjanam. Nice mandanam ho gaya, acha ranjan ho gaya. I've seen even many people doing like that, like many serious ceremony, they celebrate it with the full material motive. And then they come back and like any festival happens. So festival hone ke baad aisa nahi ki we carry ahead the desire to become devotee or serve the Lord. Just we finish, okay, everything got finished. Now let us come back to our own previous habits or work. Let us forget. So in India, many education, the people who want to educate children, so they are opening many schools. So they go to the government, they keep on taking some loans and we want to educate children. Actually, they don't want to educate children. Basically, they're opening colleges or university or even schools for business purpose, so that they can get the money. Nobody is worried about, because they do not know what to teach and how much this education is changing the character of people. So the real education means the teacher should be taught not to take money, and the children should be taught, or the parents should be taught, give donation or charity to the teacher. This is the education. Then where is the question of creating big university? The real education is this, but they will not do that. So therefore, the moral values have gone very drastically down because of such kind of pursuit. Okay. Srila Prabhupada mentions in Bhagavad Gita 7.5, the people who are engaged in gross sensuality are mudhas. What is that verse? 7.5. Namam duskutano mudha prapadyante naradhama. So those who simply engage in profitless pursuit of sense gratification are worshipping avidya. Why it is a profitless sense gratification? Because we have to work very hard and then we get very little return. Secondly, the benediction which we get does not remain for long. It goes away. And third, our bodies, they have limited power to enjoy. So how much we can enjoy? So therefore, it is a profitless. Like Govind Das also sings, na? Kamala Dala Jala. There he sings that Chapala Sukha. The Sukha of this world is Chapala, flickering happiness. Even if you get it, it may go away anytime. Therefore, it's a profitless pursuit for sense gratification. So this is avidya, worshipping avidya. Okay, worshipping avidya also means like worshipping these film stars, movie stars. This also is worshipping avidya only, worshipping them. So what kind of glass they are wearing, what kind of dress they are wearing, what kind of habits they are showing. So this is also worshipping avidya. They are also the role model of deity of avidya. So people are worshipping their deities nicely. The advancement of learning by godless people is a dangerous, as Prabhupada mentions, a cobra having a jewel on his head. So that is more dangerous than cobra which is having no jewel. It means it is also mentioned like a person who is drowning into the ocean. If you put mukut on his head, helmet or mukut on his head, so then he will drown more quickly, because while he is drowning, he needs help for getting out of the ocean or river. But somebody is saying, oh, you are such a rich man, you should not drown so easily. Take your mukut, then you drown. So then it is killing that person. So we are suffering, already we are suffering. And above that, we are given so much intoxication of technology, education, so much pride, so much anartha, so many types of things. So then we drown very fast. Already Kali Yuga, average age is 100 years. How many of us are living 100 years? 70 साल में 60 साल में हालत खराब हो जाता है. 40 years means old man. 40 years if somebody goes old, he's old now. So pathetic the time has become. And Kali Yuga has not started also. It has not started. It is Sandhya going on. And we are in difficulty right now. Yes. Prabhupada mentions that all such activities are aimed towards sense gratification. But though above the senses is the mind, okay. Above the mind is intelligence, above the intelligence is the soul. The aim of real education should be self-realization. So Prabhupada mentions, what is the aim? Realization of the spiritual value of the soul. Any education which does not lead to such realization must consider avidya. So Prabhupada has given definition, how to find out whether our education is vidya or avidya. If it is not leading towards self-realization or knowing the spiritual values of the soul, then this is avidya. We'll go ahead. Anuradha Mataji, can you read? Okay. Yes, Braj Kumar Govind Prabhuji, can you read? From here you can read. Or Anuradha Mataji, can you read? Hare Krishna. I am audible or not? Yes, Braj Kumar Prabhuji, Braj Kumar Govind Prabhu, can you read from here?
Yeah,
Yes.
I was trying to read, but I was muted. So, right. Worse still are those who engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge. A Veda Rata. Veda Rata, posing themselves as very learned in the Vedas, are completely diverted from the purpose of the Vedas. According to Bhagavad Gita 242, 7.15, mistaken mundane educators are known as Vedarata. And Maya, what's the Maya?
Maya Aparita Jnana.
Thank you, Paul. They may also be atheistic demons, the lowest of men. Those who are Vedavada Racha pose themselves as very learned in the Vedic literature, but unfortunately they are completely diverted from the purpose of the Vedas. In the Bhagavad Gita 15.15, it is said that purpose of the Vedas is to know the personality of Godhead. But these Vedavada Rasa men are not at all interested in the personality of Godhead. On the contrary, they are fascinated by such fruitive results as the attainment of heaven.
Okay, thank you. So, how many of you know what do you mean by Vedvadarata? Very simple terms. Vedvadarata means anyone?
The flowery language of Vedas.
Now, okay, they follow the flowery language of Vedas. Yes. What do you mean by that? Anyone?
They are attracted by the flowery.
Yes, question.
They are attracted by the flowery language of the Vedas, and they are not interested in the actual meaning and actual application of the instructions given in the Vedas.
Yes, correct. Yes.
They are not
Okay.
in line with the Vedas.
They are not in line in the Vedas. Okay. Okay. So Vedvadarata, these people are who? These are Karma Kandis. These are Karma Kandi people. They worship whatever demigod which is mentioned in the Vedic literature to gain their favor, so that they will enjoy on the earthly planet, and after death they will go to the heavenly planet. At max, their goal is heavenly planet. Bas, finish. They want to enjoy heavenly planet basically. So here also they want to enjoy, and there. So this is called Vedvadarata. They are attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, because Vedas, we know, Vedvyasa has compiled Vedas. So his purpose was to encourage everyone to take to religious path. Now, people go for dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So people, very few people, they want to take to dharma and moksha. They want two things, artha and kama. But Vedvyas wants to encourage them, okay, you take to dharma, then you will get artha, and then you fulfill your kama, and if you get further frustrated, and then you go to, or frustrated, or your knowledge will dawn in you, then you search for moksha. That was the whole plan. So Vedic literature, why it is said it is a book of dharma? If it is giving us the way to enjoy our senses, so then why it is said that it is a book of dharma? Because Veda has a full purpose to achieve, and it wants to accommodate everyone, and it's a mother. Like sometimes mother's activity cannot be known by outsider unless he knows why mother is doing and what he's doing. So he has to approach the guru. What do you mean by the Vedas? This section of Vedas mentions about worship of this demigod. Why? For whom it is mentioned? What is the purpose? So one has to know from the guru. So Vedas, they mention all this karma kanda yagya, and they give very nice benedictions and results, so that the worshippers, they become very happy. Okay, nice. We can fulfill all our desire by worshipping this god, that god. But Vedas, they don't restrain themselves to that stage only. They also guide to go ahead of this karma kanda mentality, or even jnana kanda, and approach the spiritual truths like Isopanishad, or Upanishads. So Upanishads are head of the Vedas. So they don't mention about demigod worship. They mention about approaching the absolute truth. But they will not read such literature. They will only read which are giving them sense gratification. And they will also preach the same thing to others. Like once Brahmana, he came to one devotee's house. So basically, sometimes it happens that some ghost problems are there. Family members are not very staunch devotee. So some ghost problems were there. So then this Brahmana was famous for removing ghosts. So then this devotee asked her, do you know who is God? He's a Brahman. He said, I don't know who is God, but I know I worship Sakti, Uma, and she is God for me. That much I know. Then he asked, do you know some the mantras, how to remove ghost and this? So then he said that actually, I don't know much. I just depend upon her. And things happen. So he was amazed, devotee was amazed actually. He may be knowing some mantra, some ritual, but he was saying, I depend upon Devi. And he gave a proof also. He told, actually, my son is also haunted by a ghost. And he walks for a certain distance and then he spits out some foam and then he falls down. And this is happening. Many months have passed. I'm trying to get him rid of, but he's not getting rid of that. I'm trying that. Similar to in our means in our modern context, like some doctor is there, even though he may be able to cure other disease, but he may himself be suffering with some other disease. Yes, it is possible. So it's not that they are curing some disease really is their expertise or something they are very extraordinary. No, as he was saying, Devi is doing, some supernatural powers are doing. So like as we just now learned, that Lord sanctions whatever we are, means if you do some activity, some result we are good for it. So then Lord will sanction. So in the similar way, this person has performed some Vedic ritual. He may not know how the things are happening. And then Devi is providing the result. Okay, now the ghost will run away. And it's happening. His business is running like that. And the person came, he said, Prabhu, I showed to 4 or 5 astrologers, and all of their judgment is different. How to know who is a proper one? Whatever is working for you is proper one. How to know? So this is true for many people. So we cannot ignore that the superior powers are not there in our life. Even though we may become expert, there is a intervention of superior power at every step in our life. So these Vedavad Rata people, they are successful. They are following the part of the Vedas and God is giving them benediction. And so they are successful. But this does not mean that they know everything. Like we respect, while we were children, anybody, any Brahmana comes now or anybody, then we think, oh, he's a most learned person. Like Prabhupada said, the Brahmana means most learned Pandit. He may not be knowing anything, but then simply we pay obeisances and we bring everything for him. So he is successful in certain field, it does not mean successful in every field. In the similar way, even though they are learned in the Vedic mantra, how to chant Vedic mantras, how to invoke demigods, how to get some certain result, but they do not know the conclusion of Vedas. This is very important. So Prabhupada mentions that these Vedvadrata pose themselves very learned in Vedic literature, but unfortunately they are completely diverted from the purpose of the Vedas. So they do not know the purpose. What is the purpose? Vedasa sarver aham eva vedya. Vedanta krit vedvid eva chaham. I am to be known, Arjuna, through Vedas. Krishna has to be known. Absolute truth has to be known. So he should be approached. The person, after reading the Vedas, he should approach Supreme Lord. He should know that ultimately Yagya Purush is Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the cradle of the ahuti with which you do the ahuti, that cradle is I am. I am the ghee in the yagya. I am the purohit or the pujari who is putting the yagya, that ahuti. I am that person. I am the mantra. I am the yagya kunda. Everything he is saying, I am. So when we read Bhagavad Gita, we understand Krishna is that personality. He is all pervading. So Bhagavad Gita clearly says that everywhere there is a Lord Sri Krishna. Okay. So this shloka 2.42-43 Ved Vadarata Partha and 9.20-21. I'll just open and show. So this is 9.2021. Those who study the Vedas and drink the som juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly, purified of the sinful reactions they take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. Who is saying? Lord Sri Krishna is saying in 9.20. Now again, then some of us can question how Krishna is saying they are worshipping indirectly, then why we are condemning them? Why we are condemning? Actually, they are worshipping Krishna indirectly, but they should not preach that this is the highest thing what is given in the Vedas. Nothing higher than this is there. So they are misleading people. That should not happen. They should tell to the people, okay, not like this Brahmana, he told to me, okay, I do not know God. I know that Devi I am worshipping and she is helping me. So okay, he's at least humble. He's accepting. He's not saying Devi is God, you do not know who is God. So he's not falsely trying to say that he knows everything. No. But that much is okay. So they are, even though we read that anyone can approach to the Naskarmiya result by following the fruity path which is given in the Vedic literature, they can also approach because they are indirectly worshipping Krishna, but they should not mispreach others. This is what's said here. So those who are on the path of misguided Vidya, they should not misguide others. First, they should become guided, understanding that the Vedas lead to the ultimate goal of spiritual realization, self-realization, or going back to Godhead. And these are simply temporary things in this material world to keep us remain engaged and basically to encourage us to take to path of dharma and become more serious for more serious candidate for liberation. So that's why the Vedas, they mention these things. We also know that Vedas have nivritti and two paths, pravritti marg, nivritti marg. Pravritti marg means this one, karma kanda. Whatever desire you have, you fulfill it. That is our pravritti marg. Nivritti marg means path of renunciation. That you give up material desire, you just try to control your mind and senses and look for your goal, for a goal of your soul, where the soul has to go. To just endeavor for soul goal. Don't endeavor for bodily enjoyment. Just have a minimum requirement for body, that is nivritti marg, and whole endeavor for the soul, that is nivritti. Pravritti means try to satisfy. You want to go to heaven, okay, take mantra from Vedas, worship this Indra, that this god, that god, and go to that place. That is pravritti marg. So we follow nivritti marg actually. And everybody has to follow to get perfection. Pravritti marg cannot take us to perfection. It can make us roam here and there, and again it will bring us to the nivritti marg. Chinne punne marta lokam visanti. Okay, we'll go ahead. The ultimate purpose of all the religion is to bring one back to Godhead. As stated in Mantra 1, we should know that personality of God is the proprietor of everything and that we must be satisfied with our allotted portions of necessities of life. The purpose of all Vedic literature is to awaken this God consciousness in the forgetful living being. And this same purpose is presented in various ways in different scriptures of the world for understanding of the foolish mankind. Thus, the ultimate purpose of all religion is to bring one back to Godhead. Okay. Kishore Madhav Prabhu is there?
Yes, Prabhu.
Can you read?
Prabhu.
Can you read?
One second. Yes, sir. I'll read. Yeah. Hello. 1 second. Just give me a minute. Yeah. Veda. Prabhu, I'm on handset. I'm on handset, so I may have some difficulty. Veda Vadarata distorts the actual purpose of the value and disregards the chain of disciple succession to secure a position in much more darkest region of ignorance. But the Veda Vadarata people, instead of realizing that purpose of Vedas is to retrieve the forgetful soul, lost relationship with personality of Godhead, take it for granted that such side issues as the attainment of heavenly pleasure for sense gratification, the lust for which caused their material bondages in the first place, are the ultimate end of the Vedas. Such people misguide others by misinterpreting the Vedic literature. Sometimes they even condemn the Puranas, which are authentic Vedic explanation of laymen. The Ved Vadaratas give their own explanations of the Vedas, neglecting the authority of great teachers or acharyas. They also tend to raise some unscrupulous person from among themselves and present him as a leading exponent of Vedic knowledge. Such Vedvadrata are especially condemned in the mantras, in this mantra, by the very appropriate Sanskrit word Vidyayam Rataha. Vidyayam refer to the study of Vedas because the Vedas are the origin of knowledge, Vidya, and Rataha means those who engaged. Vidyam Rata thus means those engaged in the study of Vedas. The so-called student of the Vedas are condemned herein because they are ignorant of the actual position uh, of, of in every word of the Vedas to suit their own purpose. They do not know that the Vedic literature is a collection of extraordinary books that can be understood only through the chain of disciple succession. One must approach a bona fide spiritual master in order to understand the transcendental message of Vedas. That is the direction of Mundaka Upanishad 1.2.12. This Vedavada people, however, have their own acharyas who are not in the chain of transcendental succession. Thus, they progress into darkest region of ignorance by misinterpreting the Vedic literature. They fall even further into ignorance than those who have no knowledge of the Vedas at all.
Okay. Okay, we discussed these things. So, Yagik Brahman who come in 10th canto, so they are like Vedvadrata. So, even God came in front of them, sending his friends, associates to get some Yagya book, the offered things from the Yagya sister. You please bring it. So then these people neglected the cowherd boyfriends of Krishna. They thought, okay, we are worshipping gods, why we should become disturbed? Very much means surprising. They must be chanting the mantras like Narayan, Krishna from the Vedas. Still, Krishna was there and their knowledge is so much covered, they could not recognize that God is there. This is the problem with this Karma Kanda path. It disregards devotional service, it disregards personality of Godhead. They misunderstand. They think that Supreme Personality of Godhead must be under certain rules and regulation. And this kind of karma kanda mentality is there. Many times in the demigod also, it is there. Like we saw the Brahma Mohan Leela, it happened. Like Brahmaji got totally mesmerized that how can Krishna take the buttermilk from the mouth of other gopas by just hitting it like that, and then the other gopas just threw all the buttermilk, and then Krishna was drinking that buttermilk, which has came from the mouth of other person, and he is drinking. So the Brahmaji thought, is it God? God is worshipped in the yagya, and so all the mantras are purifying all the ingredients, and then so many mantras are chanted, and he's eating from the mouths of others, and they are not even brahmanas. It is said God eats from the mouth of brahmanas. How can he eat from the mouth of other? So sometimes these mentalities are there, karma kanda mentality, that God will be satisfied with my mantra, God will be satisfied with my rituals. Beyond that, there is no way to attain God. Therefore, bhakti elevates the people to Raganuga platform. And in Raganuga platform, you don't require anything, mantra, tantra, nothing you require. But yeah, in Vaidhi Bhakti we may require. Worship of Radha Krishna cannot be done in Vaidhi Bhakti. It is done in the Raganuga platform. So therefore, Prabhupada said, in our temples, we are worshipping Radha Krishna in the form of Lakshmi Narayan. Because Radha Krishna, they are deities of love and devotion direct. They don't want any kind of rituals. So anybody who has love and devotion for them, and he is at that level of Raganuga, he can worship them. And they don't consider offense. So because at that stage, no offenses happen. But in Vaidhi Bhakti, we worship Lakshmi Narayan, Sita Ram. So like this we worship. Okay. So one must approach a Prabhupada gives the solution for them also. One must approach the bona fide spiritual master in order to understand the transcendental message of Vedas. So, okay, Vedvadrata, do not worry, you are reading the Vedas. Please approach spiritual master, proper spiritual master, learn from him and understand that this is not the highest truth. You are following it, follow it, but do not mispreach. Therefore, we find even in the offenses in the holy name, like what is the eighth offense? to consider that the holy name is equivalent to some karmakanda yagya. It is not equivalent. It should not be compared also. So then comparing holy name with some yagya, some this yagya, that yagya is offense actually. Holy name is fully transcendental. It is the name of the Lord, non-different from the Lord. So it should not be compared in this way. Okay. We'll go ahead. Yes, Mukund Path Prabhuji, can you read? Maya
Prabhuji.
from here.
Just a second. Maya, Prata, Jnana, self-made gods have tattva other than their false satisfaction of having become a god. Maya, Prata, Jnana, just a second. A class of men are self-made gods. Such men think that they themselves are God and that there is no need of worshipping any other god. They will agree to worship an ordinary man if he happens to be rich, but they will never worship the personality of Godhead. Such a man, unable to recognize their own foolishness, never consider how it is that Maya would be more powerful than God.
No.
Such a man.
How it is that God can be.
Sorry. Just a second. God can be entrapped by Maya, his own illusory energy. If God were ever entrapped by Maya, Maya would be more powerful than God. Such men say that God is all powerful, but they do not consider that if he is all powerful, there is no possibility of his being overpowered by Maya. These self-made gods cannot answer all these questions very clearly. They are simply satisfied to have become a god themselves.
Okay. So at last, Srila Prabhupada, including even Maya Aparityana, means these are Mayavadis. Maya Aparityana, or these people who wants to become self-god. Like we find in India also, Prabhupada says India is a factory of God. Many gods are produced in India. So here, like somebody wants to become God, what he will say to his followers, that you simply wash my feet and take the Charnamrit and then throw on the people. And to whom it falls up, to those it falls upon, they will become my disciple. And what is the contract between Guru and disciple? No contract, just glorify me. Just take my name and recite some things which I have given. That is the whole contract. No rules, regulations, no 4 regulative principles, no chanting of holy, nothing. Because they have become God, they can decide the rule. This is what happens actually. So they will also quote from the Shastra, like this Satya Sai. Like I met a person, I was in Bangalore. So earlier I met a person while we were distributing books in KV, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Bangalore. So there we met a person who was a follower of Satya Sai. And then he was saying his philosophy, it is quite matching with our Sanatana Dharma philosophy, quite matching. Like Mahabharata story, he was telling why it happened, what was the reason, very confidential things he was mentioning, and he was telling this is how it happens. So I was understanding he must have heard from a good guru. So then I asked him, whose follower are you? So then he said, I'm Satya Sai follower. And then he says that he's a god. Finish. They are only finished. All philosophy, and he said, he is God. And then I asked him, have you seen his God form? So he said, I have not seen, but I have heard from many people, they have seen his God form also. Satya Sai. And they have written Sai Charitra also. So what are these? These are self-made God. Sometimes the person who is considered God, he does not claim himself, but the future, the successors, they consider him God. So that is the problem of them. But again, this whole becomes Mayavad. Mayavad means when a person wants to become God, like one with God. So this is Mayavad only. There is no difference between me and God. This is Mayavad. And so because I have become God, so whosoever is God who comes here and does pastime, his form is also Maya. Like my form is Maya right now, and ultimate is Brahman. Ultimate is Brahman. And from Brahman, many temporary forms come into this world, and we perform pastimes, and then we ultimately go and merge into Brahman. Our all forms are destroyed. So they also think that even God, so-called God like Krishna, even if Krishna and Rama they are coming, they are taking some Maya form and performing pastime, and then they are going and merging into Brahman. Finish. They are thinking like that. And because Krishna can do, I am also God, so I am also performing pastime. So then my body will also finish that one day, and then I will also merge into Brahman. So this is all Maya actually. So they quote slokas from Vedas, like Ekatvam Anupashyati, Ekatvam, we have to see equal. I am equal with God. Soham, Soham. Soham means what? He is me. So Sah Aham, he is me. I am that God. So then this kind of philosophy are there. So they quote from the Vedas, and so this is also included into Avidyam Upasate. This is also Avidyam. Oh, sorry, Vidyam Rataha. Vidyam Rataha. So they are using the Vidya, but not learning from the proper guru, not knowing the right conclusion. They are speculating that I am God, or I can become God, or he is God. So this is speculation. So then this can take the people to more dangerous goal, or you can say darker region, than a person who is ignorant, who does not know any Vedas, who is enjoying his senses. So he is better than this person who is Mayavad, who is reading Vedas. So we can understand those who are Vedvad Rata, they go to the more darker region, and those who are Mayavadis, they go to more darker region. And a person who has not read Vedas, who is simply enjoying his senses, he goes to lesser darker region. So this is how this whole mantra says. Okay, we have completed this. Any question? Yes, Madhav Harinam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
very interesting class. One inquiry is that we have learned that for different grades of people there is different level of education in Vedas, such as those who are atheist. To be a worshipper of demigod is better because Nam Janmanamante Gyanvan Prapante, after many births, he will be worshipper of demigods, and then he will take to yoga process. So in that sense, it is good to become this worshipper of demigods than being atheist. But here in this sloka, it is just opposite, that being better do sense gratification and then worshipping demigods or to become a Brahman. So how to understand this?
I mentioned it in between. Actually, we are not against. See, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also, he does not recommend people to go for demigod worship. What is the reason behind it? Even though he mentions that the worship of demigod is indirect worship of me only. He mentioned that everything I am only giving to demigod, whatever benediction they are giving to you, it is given by me only. So Krishna says it is not necessary. It is not necessary to go to them. And if somebody is going to them, then he says, Alpamedasa, you are Alpameda. You wanted something. Why did you go to him? You could have come to me. I could have fulfilled your desire, and I could have purified you also. And then you could have gone to the spiritual path. But when you went to demigod, you simply remain stuck there. You got your benediction fulfilled, and then your desire did not get purified, and again you will hope for another desire. दूसरा desire आने वाला है, आप दूसरा demigod के पास जाओगे again. So your business will never stop. You will be going into cycle of birth and death. The problem is karma kandi is this: they are suffering in cycle of birth and death. And Mayavadi is a lot of more bigger problem, because they offend Lord, so they go to the more darker region, more suffering they have to suffer actually. So here the Vedavad Rata are mentioned that you go to spiritual master. Okay, you have certain desire, you learn from him how it can be fulfilled, and then don't mispreach it, telling that this is the highest thing in the Vedic literature. Like during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this was a problem. The Brahmanas, they used to marry cats And the dogs, the marriages used to happen. They used to spend a lot of money for that. And they used to preach this thing that the highest thing in the Vedas is, and the problem, they think that liberation is again highest even than the Pancham Purushartha. So this is one kind. Something that liberation, leave liberation. Even going to demigod loka is the highest thing. So that is again not good. And something, one should not go to Vedas only. We should live an atheist. Just enjoy your senses. Yes, for the atheist people, they should go to the Vedic literature, take the shelter of Brahmana and learn from them. Okay, they want to worship demigod, okay, worship. Like these things are there. So when we are seeing from the transcendental perspective, then we are seeing that is Vedavad Rata also, they are mispreaching and they are misguiding people. So it is not good. They may go to the more darker region because they are misguiding people. And this Mayavadi will also go. But when you see from their perspective, they're at what level? Okay, I'm doing some Vedic rituals. That I mentioned the name of Brahmana. Again, they should not mispreach. The whole thing is they should not mispreach. Mispreach mat karo. आप satisfied रहो कि मेरे को इतना पता है. Be honest. Like there is a difference between Brahmavadi and Mayavadis. What is the difference? Brahmavadi, he does not say that God form is a Maya. He only knows about Brahman. He does not know about God's form. He does not know only. So he has to know. But Mayavadis, they speculate. They think that the God form is a Maya. That is offense. So Brahmavadi is not offender, but Mayavadis are offender. In the similar way, Vedavad Ratas, these people, when they try to mispreach the Vedas it is giving the highest thing, this only. And even holy name is not good. Holy name se better mera yagya ka mantra hai. So then these things, these are mispreaching. This is against the Vedic literature. And so they will go darker, in the darker region. So we are talking about this thing. If you are at that level, second class, be at second class, be happy and take guidance from spiritual master and grow in your life. But if you are a second class, you're saying like Muslims, they say, na, ki our religion is highest. Like, see, Muslims, we never say that you don't follow Muhammad. We say you follow. But when you come and break the Indian temples, Indian deities, what is this? What is this? You're breaking the... So first look in your religious book, what is given. Properly read. And even if it is given, you have to discuss about you. How can a hinsa is given in my literature? You have to discuss. So the whole point is this. If you are following, you follow. Peacefully you follow. Don't disturb others. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also, to devotees also he says, don't disturb others. But Srila Prabhupada writes, it does not apply to devotees. we can go and preach to everyone, no problem. But yes, he also said that don't disturb atheist people because they may become anti. They may blaspheme the Lord. Whole point is don't become a duplicator. Don't become duplicitous person. If you are following your path, be simple, follow it, take guidance and grow. This is the whole thing Vedas want to teach, because Vedas are very big, very vast, and which path is leading where only spiritual master can know. We cannot know. So therefore spiritual master can tell, oh, this karma kanda mentality is there in you, or gyan kanda mentality is there in you, so you have to get rid of it. So you stop this activity and do this activity. He can guide. But only karma kanda follower who does not know anything beyond it, how can he balance his life? So this is the whole thing. Okay, na? So demigod worship, let people do, and they are doing. Vedas are recommending. But when Krishna, he is saying, why are you doing this demigod worship? You come to my devotee, learn from them. They will only tell you to worship me. So when you go to Krishna devotee, he will say worship Krishna, because it is a higher intelligence. But those who are worshipping demigod, they are Alpamedasam. So they should understand, I am Alpameda. Okay, I am Alpameda. Okay, I am Alpameda. Understand, okay, you are Alpameda. You worship, no problem. But don't tell that I am a Sumedha. Sumedha, there is nobody higher intelligent than me. So these people are then right-wing people. Sumedha. है नहीं, but फिर भी preach करेंगे मैं हूँ. Like one time one lady came and I was distributing books. So then he came and told, she was Christian. She told, you are from which mission? So I told, I am Hare Krishna. So then she told that, have you read Bible? I told, I know about Bible, I have not read. Once you read it, your life will change. So I told, my life is already changed. What more I want to change? So she told, no, you should read this. So I was just seeing this lady how much fanatic it is. She does not know ABCD of religion, and she's teaching me that you read once and then your life will change. So these are the faltu people. They will go to more darker region. You do not know anything. You are so fanatic. अरे तुम्हें पता ही नहीं है क्या धर्म है, किधर से तुम कौन सा बुक पढ़ के आ रहे हो, और फिर भी इतना कॉन्फिडेंस है. Like if somebody is jumping into fire with confidence, and then you will die only. So this is not good actually. So therefore it is said to be genuine, simple. Okay, we'll go ahead. So now in the next shloka, Srila Prabhupada will be telling how this knowledge has to turn into qualities. Yes. Anyadahur vidyaya anyadahur vidyaya iti shushrumadhirana yenastad vichachakshire. The wise have explained, wise means dhira, they have explained, what they have explained, one result is derived from culture of knowledge, and that different result is obtained from culture of science. Very simple also to understand. We should not mix, like Krishna says, matter is separate, spirit is separate. Therefore, he is mentioning a lot about spirit in the 2nd chapter of Gita. Yes. Why is again saying, sometimes he is repeating the things, quality of the spirit. He is telling, not repeating, but it is looking like a repeating. So, what is Sat, what is Asat? This is a constant discussion in the Vedic literature. What is Sat, what is Asat? Don't mix it, don't mix it. This is Asat, this is Asat, this is Sat. Because knowledge has to be there. Without knowledge, if we live into this world, then we will commit sin, or we will misjudge the Vedic literature. Or we may also try to misunderstand that, okay, my life goal is this, my life goal is that, we may misguide it. So therefore, it is very much important to know what is real knowledge and what is false knowledge. Yes. So now Srila Prabhupada takes this whole, the first paragraph, the 18 items of knowledge here. He is taking from Bhagavad Gita 13.8 to 12. So once we recite that 13.8 to 12, and then we'll discuss. Amanitvam adambitvam hinsa ahinsa santirarjavam acharyopasanam saucham stairyam atma vinigraha indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankara evacha janma mrityurjara vyadhi dukkha dosanudarshanam asakterana bhishwangaha putradara grihadishu nityam समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्ठोपपत्तिषु मयि चानन्य योगेन भक्तेर अव्यभिचारिणी विविक्त देश सेवित्वम् अर्तेर्जन संसदि अध्यात्म ज्ञानम नित्यत्वम तत्व ज्ञानार्थ दर्शनम एतज् ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम अज्ञानम यदतो अन्यथा. तो एतज् ज्ञानम इति प्रोक्तम, इसको ज्ञान बोलते हैं, और इसके अलावा जो भी है, whatever other than this is called ajnana or avidya. So this Krishna speaks about this 18 or 20, you can say 20 items of knowledge. Here he mentions, and then he says that whatever is other than this is, you call it ignorance. So Krishna is saying knowledge means qualities. If you see, come here, the translation: humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of object of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of evil of birth, death, old age, and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest, even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization, and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance. Prabhupada writes very nice purport, very long purport on this. And the same items Prabhupada is quoting in Ishopanishad. The same, this humility, pridelessness. Okay. So, process of culturing knowledge, Vidya, 13.8 to 12. Okay. As advised in the chapter 13 of Bhagavad Gita, 13.8 to 12, one should culture knowledge in the following way. Okay, let me discuss more thing about this whole section. Now we have come, we have seen the last sloka that how people who are ignorant, they are in avidya, and those who are having the knowledge, but they are having misguided knowledge. So they are vidyam rataha, and here avidya upasate, avidyam upasate. Now here, in the 10th sloka, avidya, what with avidya about same thing, avidya, like avidya, knowledge about this material world, sense gratification, knowledge of sense gratification. So this materialistic knowledge, people using for sense gratification, it will lead to certain different culture, certain different qualities. And the knowledge which is guided for, which is taking us to self-realization, which is taking us to going back to Godhead, this knowledge will also take us to certain different culture or qualities. So what are those? We are going to learn in this shloka. Okay. Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, 18.58 sloka, mat chitta sarva durgani mat prasada tarishyasi atah chet tvam ahankara na shoshyasi binangshati. Krishna is saying, after telling the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, you follow what I said. If you do not follow, if you follow first, he said, you will cross all the difficulties by my mercy. But if you do not follow because of your ahankar, then you will be lost, Arjuna. In this verse also same thing is mentioned. If you follow Vidya, what will be developed? If you follow Avidya, what will be developed? Very simple. Here Krishna says. So, so what do you mean by culture and what do you mean by character? So character means like a person is given some post, position, money, land. So then how he deals with, like sometimes it is said, like a devotee is very simple, but when he is made manager or when he is made some project leader, then how does he deal with all the material opulences which comes to him? Some post position which comes to him, how does he deal? The land, woman, post position, how does he deal? So that is represented by his character actually. Like Sugriv, first he promised Lord Ram that I will help you gaining your wife back. First you help me. So then Lord Ram helped by killing Bali. And then Lord Ram went to, then Chaturmas came, and then he went inside the hill. He was he was weeping and crying in remembrance of Mother Sita. And he was waiting for Chaturmas to pass. And Lakshman was also there. And when it got past, they were waiting the Sugriva should come and then solve our issues of gaining Sita back. Now he was not coming only. Then Lord Ram told Lakshman, you go and tell him that the door of death has not been closed. I have sent Bali there and I can send him also. Please inform him. So, and Lakshman was first, Lakshman said, let me go and then kill him immediately. What is this nonsense? He promised and he's not fulfilling the desire, promise. What is this? So Lord said, oh, don't kill him. Just inform him this thing. And Lakshman went. He was in very anger mood. And then he just made a sound from his bow. Dhar, dhar, dhar. Everybody became surprised and shocked. And Sugriva was his inner chamber. He was enjoying with his consort. And he totally forgot actually that what promise he had given, and he had to come back and submit to Lord Ram and he start fighting Sita. Totally forgot. So this is what, when he got kingdom back, when he got his opulence back, he forgot everything. This is very simple example, but it happens with every living entity. Yes, like one time in Lord Indra, he was fearful of one Brahmana performing yagya, because he generally becomes fearful, because if they perform many yagyas, then they will become eligible for Indralok, to become Indra. So then he went and he gave his sword, talwar, in his hand, and it was very costly, very golden sword. And then this Brahmana was seeing, oh, what is this? This is sword. How it functions? Then he was doing like he started practicing, and he totally forgot doing yagya, because he got the sword. This is how materially we become distracted actually. So here it is mentioned that character is checked. If person is very poor, nothing is there, everybody will salute him. Oh, you are so poor, very nice. But wait, give him some wealth, give him some position, post position, and then see what does he do. It is very difficult, very risky, very difficult to handle. The person becomes attached to that. Therefore, Kunti Mayan says that Janma Ishwari Suti Sibir Edamana Madhapuma Nayvar Hatya Vidhatum me Twama Kinchana Gochara. He says that who can remember Lord feelingly? Those who have become materially exhausted. No Janma Ishwari Suti Siri. So impoverished person, Prabhupada writes, materially impoverished person can feelingly call out the name of God, because it is nature of all of us, because we want to enjoy and we forget that we are soul. So we enjoy material opulence. So as many opulent thing will come, the more we'll be try to enjoy, the more we'll become attached to it. And the more we become attached to it, the more we will lose the spiritual propensity to serve or remember the Lord. We'll forget him. So this is the whole degradation actually. Then the culture. What do you mean by culture? Now, this is a character. Then culture means how the people eat. कैसे लोग खाते हैं, कैसे लोग ड्रेस पहनते हैं. These are the culture. How do they respect their elders? How they deal with the man and woman? Are they sensitive to others? Or basically, in the Vedic literature, the Brahminical culture is mentioned. Brahminical culture, like Prabhupada wanted to say. Prabhupada says that ISKCON means Brahminical culture. The culture means Brahminical culture. So Brahminical culture includes the reading of the scriptures, quoting from the scriptures, and worshipping the Lord, waking up early in the morning, practicing austerity, then yajan yajan, patan patan, dan pratika. These are duties of Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. Basically, again, it comes to the varnashram culture, how the people do their duties, as well as also they balance their spiritual duties with their material duties. This whole is like a culture. What kinds of qualities they have by going through this culture. Like people spit on the road, people speak gali to others, people start kicking on the birthday. So this is the wrong culture. In the college, they kick on they kick with their legs on the birthdays. And then on the birthdays in foreign, how they celebrate, they keep the candle and then they blow out the candle. So this is again not the culture, because you should not blow away the fire. So this is not a right culture. So these cultures are given in the Vedic literature actually. And now some remnants are remaining, and people need to follow those also. Otherwise, we will find out some other culture, because culture means basically to live with certain rituals, to live with certain patterns. So what pattern we follow? If it is we don't follow from the Vedas, we will follow our own concocted culture. Yes. Like सिप कब सोता है, कब जगता है, क्या खाता है, क्या पीता है, क्या पहनता है, ये सभी कल्चर है. पता लगता है कि किस कल्चर से है आदमी. Okay. Now it's 1, 2. Any question? Okay. So tomorrow is Rath Yatra. Adi Bhagwan Prabhu will decide with Yamuna Vilas Prabhuji what time is comfortable for everyone. to come.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Because tomorrow, I think 2 o'clock Rath will start, around 2 o'clock from the venue, from there.
Early morning, if it's okay, should be okay maybe early morning. Between
Prabhuji,
Early morning,
7, 8.
see, I am comfortable with 10:30 also. 10:30 or 10 o'clock will be little early, 10:15.